My name is Sue Coleman, and I'm thrilled this afternoon to be speaking to Brenda Sheldrake of BizLeadsExpert. I've had the pleasure of meeting Brenda through my Selling on the Spot marketplace events, and she's been a very loyal supporter, which I very much appreciate. And I really want to let her tell us about what she does and what she brings to the Selling on the Spot community, and also to any business entrepreneur out there who really wants to make great headway with their lead generation. But I will stop massacring it. I'll let Brenda tell us who she is and what she does. It's a lot safer. So welcome, Brenda. Thank you. I'm so glad we actually get to do this finally.
Yes, thank you, Sue. I'm really happy to be here.
That's
I am Brenda Marie Sheldrake. I'm the Biz Leads expert at BizLeadsExpert. And I help busy entrepreneurs stop wasting time on meetings that don't produce results by showing them how to generate more qualified leads for their business through relationship building.
That's really cool. So which kind of businesses are a good fit for you, Brenda? Or are you, is there a specific industry that you can help, or, what's best?
I can help pretty much anybody, any entrepreneur. My target is businesses that are in years 1 to 5. By year 5, you've probably got a lot of what I teach, but new businesses, especially those who are just starting out, especially because we've had so many businesses that have pivoted due to the COVID pivot. Those are the kind of entrepreneurs that I can especially help. People who aren't sure where to get all of their leads, people who don't understand the difference between a lead and a prospect like you and I do, Sue, people who don't know how to take those prospects and then convert them into loyal fans, raving fans, either people who buy from them all the time or people who always want to refer to them. They're the first name they think of. Those are my ideal people. I have worked with some businesses that have been around for longer. Generally, if your business has been around for longer, it's because you're doing a rebranding or you're adding something new to your business that you want to let people know about and get more leads for that new product, service, or whatever it is. One area where I am really, really strong is with those of you who are in direct sales, because the secret of this all is that this originated from things I learned when I was doing a form of direct sales. So I was in a company, and any of you that I'm talking to right now who are in direct sales, you've had an upline or you had a trainer who told you to talk to lots and lots of people, or to go, and this one will probably sound familiar to you, to go home, tell all your friends and family what you do, and then they're going to happily refer to you. And I can tell you that for me, that didn't work out very well. And I felt very, very inadequate when that was happening. And so I kept trying. I kept doing that. More people with the same bad results, until I got tired and realized that the whole insanity saying was true. Reporting the same thing over and over again. Yeah, not a great idea.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I understand completely what you mean about, go home and, talk to your friends and family, because I found that they support you, they don't support you as such. One thing I would like to go back to, and that might be for the viewers, would probably welcome an explanation or a differentiation between a prospect and a lead that you mentioned. I think that might be a really good little tidbit to pass on to people.
Sure. So I hear people all over the place who are saying that they want more leads, that they're going to pay for leads, that they're buying leads. And I want to tell you that that's a mistake. Because if you're not sure whether you have enough leads yet, pick this up and open it up, and you've got a ton of leads in there. Go to your social media and open it up, and you've got a ton of leads in there. Because very simply, a lead is a name and a phone number, a name and a way to contact them. Maybe it's a messenger chat. Maybe it's whatever kind of WhatsApp chat, wherever you're talking to them. That's a lead. Now, you can have hundreds of leads, you can have thousands of leads, but that doesn't mean that your business is going to be succeeding and thriving and growing. Because what you want to do is you want to take those leads and you want to convert a percentage of them, because we can't change them all, but you want to take some of those leads and turn them into someone who is open to have a meeting with you. And that's what we call a prospect, or what I call a qualified lead. It's someone who's open to listening to what you've got to offer. Because the people who don't want to listen, you don't want to waste your time with.
Oh, that's absolutely true. There's no point if they're closed to even listening to the information. There's no point in trying to convince anybody they need to. That's a very good point. And thanks for differentiating that.
Or if they think that they already know, Sue. Sometimes you meet those people who are the, I know, I already knew that, I know. Well, you don't want to spend a lot of time on that I know person either.
No, that's true.
They're just not going to be open even to a new perspective on things.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good question when you're approaching people, is asking if they're open to listening to what you, because if you ask them if they're interested, it's a yes or no question. But if you ask somebody if they're open to hearing what you've got to say, to share, then I think they're slightly more receptive that way. Nobody wants to be closed.
Yeah. People, you're definitely right. People are more likely to, and also because it's an unfamiliar way of putting things, their curiosity, their natural curiosity, will make them say yes. Whereas if you said, are you willing to give me 20 minutes so that I can share something new with you? Then that leads to more questions like, well, what are you going to share? Well, what are you going to tell me? Well, what have you got that's new? But if you just ask them if they were open, well, then it's like the technique for booking the appointments. If you say to people, like, if you're trying to find that time to meet, if you're trying to find the perfect time to meet, if you say, what are you doing on Friday? People in direct sales make this mistake all the time. You've got something called your business overview, and your business overview is at a set time. So your business overview is on Friday at 7:00. Well, they would never put them on Fridays anyway, but it's just an example. So if your business overview was on Friday at 7:00, and if I say, Sue, what are you doing on Friday at 7:00? Well,
why do you want to know?
Yeah, why do you want to know? Or if I've already done part of my pitch, part of my presentation, then you're thinking, oh, now comes the part where she asked me to come and sit through something.
Yeah.
So Friday at 7:00. Oh, no, sorry. Friday at 7:00, I'm busy. But if you ask them more open questions, like, which would work better for you, weekdays or weekends, and have them pick and keep choices to two. Don't go crazy. So if they say weekdays, then don't say, do you want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? You want to go like, would Monday or Wednesday work? Or would Tuesday or Thursday work? And like we said at the beginning, it's probably better if they avoid the Friday, because Friday is the day that they're most likely to be planning going. And honestly, if you think about it, your head is in weekend mode by Friday.
Oh, by Friday afternoon, I'm sure I'm not thinking about business meetings on Friday night. No, that's not happening. Yeah. So what brought you to becoming a BizLeads expert? Like, tell me a little bit about the history of the company and you, and where you came, how you came to being this wonderful BizLeads expert.
Well, the reason I got into this was, as I was talking about that business that I was in before, and they pretty much, that was what they suggested, talk to lots and lots of people, talk to your friends and family. I had tried all of those things, and I was starting to feel pretty inadequate. I was thinking that there was something that this meant there was something the matter with me. And if any of you are in direct sales and you're watching this, I want to tell you that if you're having that experience, there's nothing the matter with you. It will not work for everybody. Nothing works for everybody. Mm-hmm. But at about the time that I was ready to give up, somebody came to me and they said, do you enjoy helping people? Well, I love helping people. It's one of my personality traits. I love helping people. I know you work in bank code, Sue, and I'm nurturing first and almost entirely nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
So and very little blueprints. So don't ask me the how-tos of a lot of things.
I'm with you on that one.
But so they asked me if I liked helping people, and I said yes. And they said, do you like learning new things? And I said, love learning new things. And so they said, okay. So then they sat down with me and they showed me a system. They showed me the system that I now use. It's a 4-point system, and it's about connecting with people. And you connect before you sell.
Oh,
if people sense that you're connecting to sell, this is the other secret of it. If people feel that you're connecting to sell, they're going to smell that, and they're going to feel the fakeness of it, the phoniness of it, and they're not going to be comfortable with it. So you've got to truly be connecting for the purpose of helping. And part of the way that I do that is that when I book meetings with people, I say I want to learn how you help other people, and how your products, how whatever you do helps other people. So that's kind of how I enter into those meetings, and I let people talk first. I have them share before I share. And if it happens that there's a half-hour meeting and I don't ever get to share, I'm going to slip in something at the end. And then if they're intrigued, then I say, would you like to meet again? So the secret was I really, really wanted to help people. I really wanted people to know about the product that I had. I knew that it could change lives for people with disabilities. And I knew that they had been taken advantage of so many times. When you meet people with disabilities, they're a prime target for so many cons out there. Mm-hmm. And so there was a real reluctance to listen to this new information. And by learning how to build those relationships, make those connections first, before we ever talked about any kind of business, even though what I was offering them was free too. Mm-hmm. First it was, how can I help you? And then the next call would be where I would say, okay, I have one more way to help you. There's one more thing that I could do if you would be willing to give me. And I had to ask people, it took long enough to do the appointment that I had to ask people to give me an hour. I wasn't asking people to let me in the door for 15 minutes or for half an hour. I was saying, if you'd be willing to give me an hour. So I had to have already shown them that there was some reason to listen to me. So, and then we would book that second call. And once we had the second call where I shared with them what this product was and how it worked, well, in most cases, they were so blown away because it was nothing that they'd heard about from their banks. They didn't hear about it from their other financial advisors. Nobody had shared it with them. And they were like, this really exists. And the truth was, and the truth still is, yes, it really exists for people anywhere in Canada. Or under the age of 50.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I know that you're very, very generous with your information. I know I've booked calls with you that are supposed to be half an hour, and we've chatted for a lot longer than that. You're very, very generous with your time, and you're sharing your expertise, and for that I'm very grateful. So how's the best way for people to reach out to you to learn about your secret sauce, Brenda?
So the best way to connect with me would be to send me a message on LinkedIn, to send me a connection request on LinkedIn with a message. If you're seeing this interview, you could let me know that you saw me through Sue's interview through Selling on the Spot Marketplace, and or attend pretty much any of Sue's Selling on the Spot Marketplace events, because I am almost always at almost every single one of them. Can't wait for your live one, Sue, so that we can actually meet in person, because we've never had that opportunity. But so yes, so that's the other way. Do the connection request and put a message with it so that I know what you're connecting about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting you at my upcoming live event and future live events. Now well, we shouldn't say that. We should say in person, because we've always been alive, even online.
That's true. It's
But I
true.
really do appreciate your being a regular at my events and being able to share your information with so many people.
And I know that there's a different energy to the in-person events as well that I'm looking forward to being part of that energy as well as this energy, because the thing people have to realize is that there's nothing the matter with virtual events. I hear people saying, and this is just a quick little thing, but I hear people saying these days that they're giving up on virtual events, that they're going back 100% to live events. And I want to share a couple, just two quick little ideas about it. The first one is you can fit a lot more meetings into a day if you do them virtually, because you have no travel time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing live events, and when I did in-person coffee chats, what I would do is I would pick two strategic Tim Hortons or Starbucks, and I would book like 5 meetings at each one. So 5 at one, and then I would travel to the other one and I'd book 5 at the other one. But there was still very finite number. And the frustrating part would be when you would book one and you book this half an hour for this person, and then for some reason the person couldn't make it. Now with virtual, you can book your meetings almost back to back. I always book, just a tip, book 15 minutes in between so you can take your notes and take your pee. But other than that, virtually back to back.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't show up, you just keep your meeting room open in case they're running a little bit behind, and go off and do something else that you need to be working on. And you can get work done at the same time much more easily than you can virtual or in person, I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just, I really enjoy the virtual meetings because it's much more time efficient. Financially, it's more efficient than having to drive all over creation, especially at the price of gas these days, and parking and buying coffee and this kind of, and it does give you more flexibility because yes, you can plan a little bit of extra time and put more in a day. It's just, but don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to doing the in-person event. But there's a lot to be said for virtual meetings, and besides, there's only so many people you can actually get to when you're in person. You're limited geographically, whereas virtually, the world is your oyster, and that's something that this whole pandemic thing has really brought to the fore for a lot of us. Is we aren't sort of pigeonholed into our local environments anymore. We can speak to anybody globally. I mean, we both talk to people around the globe. So
absolutely. When COVID hit and I realized that I was going to be doing virtual events, I said, I've always wanted to travel to Australia. I've always wanted to go there. So I am going to build my business so it includes Australia. And at the time I was a licensee with selling on the spot marketplace. I did it for 3 years. I loved it. It grew my business so big that I had to move on. But when I was a licensee, I set out to build an Australian selling on the spot marketplace event. And when I started, I knew 2 Australians. And I did networking, and I built it. And we built it up till we had good turnouts for all of our Australian events of Australians bringing their products to Canada and the United States, and Canadians and Americans who wanted to bring their products to Australia. So it was a fabulous thing that couldn't have happened from when I was doing the in-person events in Mississauga.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I mean, it's a phenomenal thing to be able to connect virtually with everybody. So in closing, I really want to say thank you, how much I appreciate your support at my Selling on the Spot Marketplace events. And I appreciate all the wisdom that you bring and share with us, even if it's just a snippet at one of our events, but especially for what you've shared today. People will definitely want to reach out to Brenda Sheldrake, and we'll put Brenda's contact information at the end of the video and in with the post. So I just really want to thank you so much, Brenda. I'm glad we finally got to do this. It's taken a while, but we managed to do it. So thank you so much.